this as a driver, as somebody who owns a car series, racing series, do you follow more what the 2311 front row lawsuit against NASCAR could do, or what it could mean for racing series?
I don't know. I mean, I think just it's obviously the biggest story in the sport currently, and then probably one of the biggest stories in a long time. So yeah, I mean, naturally you're gonna follow it, but I hadn't really thought of it from that perspective yet. But yeah, I mean, I think for sure, yeah, you'll probably, as things or more answers are answered, then yeah, I think it'll mean more for other stuff too.
And you are guys who's like really pushed on the sprint car side to treat teams a little bit more, give them a little bit more. So do you have a little bit, I don't want to say empathy, but do you have a little bit, are you glad that this is going on? Like, are you like, okay, let's see what this happens on the NASCAR side? Or
yeah, I mean, I think, I guess it does involve every team in a way. So yeah, I mean, I think, it's I don't even know the word. It's pretty interesting to see how strong they're being. So it's cool to see, somebody stand up to a huge corporation like that. But I don't know the ins and outs of the business of the sport. So like, I can't really have an opinion of my own. Obviously, I would love to see our teams making more money. So because I think that just helps the overall health of our sport. So yeah, I mean, I definitely give kudos to Front Row and 2311 for sticking up for what they believe.
Do you think then that you might look at changing the way or altering the way you run your series?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently looking at like charter agreements and stuff in our series. So yeah, I think there's stuff that will be learned from it all to into. I mean, I think for Brad and myself, like, we are drivers, and I've been an owner. Really, Brad's really close to Casey Kane, so like, yeah, I mean, we want it fair, for everybody. So we're trying what I can. Obviously, it's on a way smaller scale, so I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, but yeah, we're trying to figure out our own charter stuff.
One thing that they were talking about this week was driver salaries, how low they are compared to other sports, like in terms of percentage. Obviously, the model's changed maybe like the last 10 years here. When you hear stories of the guys back in the day making the kind of money they did, I mean, how do you think the drivers these days view that? And like, can it ever get back to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it much until all this has come out. I've read some of the same things, and yeah, I mean, I think we're probably one of the only sports, if not the only sport, that like athlete salary has gone down in the last couple decades. Where I think you look at yearly, most athletes' salaries and stuff are going up. Not just athletes, but coaches, staff members, everybody in the sport. So yeah, obviously, we would love to see it trend upward instead of the opposite, which it's been. But I think with that, the teams probably have to make a lot more money to make it viable to pay the people that are working for their organizations more.
How much of a change do you expect the new aero pieces to make in traffic if the car is not sideways?
I don't know. I'm not really sure until you get out there. We don't get practice, so yeah, we'll see when we get out there. But I wouldn't imagine it probably changes a ton, So we'll see. Hopefully, it just does its job to keep the cars on the ground. I think that's the most important piece.